Hi and welcome to this reading. Today I'm picking up on an energy and it revolves around a dream that I had. I didn't sleep very well last night, and so I went back to sleep this morning and I woke up and I'd had this incredible dream, and I was pulling through some really obscure messages. And so I'm going to come and pull my cards. Well, I've already pulled some cards when I did the pre-shuffle, to try and decipher this message that's coming through. Now in this reading, I will be in thinking mode because it doesn't really make sense, and I'm hoping that I get some more clarification as I work through the messages with the cards. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. A bit about me first. I'm an intuitive tarot reader. I pick up on energy prior to a reading. I will then come and use my tarot and oracle decks to further clarify the message. All of my readings are timeless. It could be past, present, future energy. All of the decks that I use on my channel are my own designs because I'm also an illustrator, which is why I use my cards to clarify the messages, because part of the creation of these cards was when I was on my own spiritual journey. So they have spiritual significance to synchronicities and meanings and information that was coming through to me on my own spiritual journey. So if you're called to any of those, the links to those can be found in the description box. Now, in the pre-shuffle, these cards come out. I got the World, which is the end of a cycle, something finishing. I got the Death card, literally something finishing, a new beginning that's being afforded to you. The Death card is Scorpio and Pluto. Pluto is revolution. On the 19th of November is the end of, and actually the World is Saturn. Karmic completion, the end of a 20-year transit of Pluto in Capricorn, a phase where we have built wealth, but there's been karmic lessons within it, and so we are being afforded a new beginning based on the karmic lessons that we've learned in the Pluto and Capricorn transit. Pluto in Aquarius is where Pluto is going next for 20 years. It's a time of major revolution. The last Pluto in Aquarius transit was the French Revolution, the American Revolution. Major change. If you think revolutions, the wheel has to turn. Major change. The Three of Pentacles. From what you were building, what you were bound to, the Three of Pentacles is Mars in Capricorn. A dismantling of what you were building. But for some people, and this was the message that was coming through, for some people, change is scary. And whether that thought is because of what they've been told, because of what they believe, because of the people around them that are either facilitating or not facilitating this change, how stuck in the matrix they are. For some people, even though the change is being offered to them, 21 is the World. It's karmic completion. It kicks back around. I mean, the tarot is the Fool's journey. That's the last card in the tarot. It kicks back around to the Fool, which is a new beginning. Death and rebirth, revolution. But some people will be too afraid to take the leap, is what I want to say. Now, when I woke up, I'd had this dream that we were on a warship, but it was under the water. And we'd been under the water for a long time. Now, in the visual of it, it was a warship, but obviously if we were under the water, it was a submarine. You've been submerged in something for a long time. 20 years has been that Pluto and Capricorn transit. Submerged in a mindset for 20 years. Collectively submerged in a mindset for 20 years. And things were starting to fall apart. Walls and things were starting to rip off in this dream, the side of this ship. And so we had to surface. And we thought we were surfacing. And it was interesting because all the people on the ship were all people from my past. Past connections. Big significant connections in my life, but all past connections. Generally not anybody that I'm still acquainted with. People are in your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. Not people that I are connected with anymore. So as we surfaced, we thought we were coming up in New York. We thought we were coming up on the Hudson River. And as we came up, people were looking at street signs because we were in this kind of river within the city. People were trying to read the street signs. And the street signs were actually street signs in Sydney Harbour. We came up almost underneath the harbour bridge. So where we had surfaced wasn't where we thought we were going to be. Submerged for a long time. Now I was like, what does that mean? A crazy dream. What does that mean? And then I heard, as I was kind of coming out of sleep, I heard the 3 phases of the new temple. The one they know and the one they don't yet understand. The 3 phases of the new temple. The one they know and the one they don't yet understand. Random, didn't equate with anything that I'd been dreaming about, anything that I'd been thinking about. It was just this line. Then I kind of was dozing on and off, and what I got was, the warship is imploding within, that it was in distress and it needed to surface, and that's why it surfaced in Sydney Harbour. Whatever that means. Came out into the kitchen to get myself a drink, and my husband was watching a movie, and he just puts anything on the TV. He'll sit there and watch, and he sort of dozes off and on. And I said to him, what are you watching? He said, I don't know, I just turned it on. And I said, no, there's a message in it. What are you watching? And he said, it's a movie with Michelle Pfeiffer called The Deep End of the Ocean. Now, I've never watched it, but the fact that I just had a dream about submarines or warships surfacing from the deep end of the ocean, which is where they effectively reside. Things coming to light, I want to say. But I had to search that movie because I'd never heard it. And what the movie is about is a married couple, and they have a son. And their son gets kidnapped for 9 years. And I think it's a true story. It ends up being somebody that Michelle Pfeiffer's character knows. And I don't want to say, because I didn't research it too much. I just got the basic gist of it, because often if I research stuff too much, it taints the reading. But what essentially happened was, it was somebody that she knew, and this person was in the public eye, and this woman had kidnapped Michelle Pfeiffer and her husband's son for 9 years, and then they discovered him, but the child that was returned to them was completely different. Same child, but obviously raised differently. And in the end, I think that it was a boy, in the end, the boy ended up going back and living with the person who kidnapped him. Which is screaming to me of, is it Stockholm Syndrome? Where people who have been held captive find comfort in the familiar, even though the familiar is not where they should be. It was meant to be an ending. It was meant to be a new beginning for them. It was the end of a karmic cycle. But they hook back into it because it's unfamiliar. The warship was meant to, we thought that we were coming up in New York, but we ended up on the other end of the world. The deep end of the ocean. So I'm going to pull some cards. I didn't get any songs, but I'm just going to, and I don't know what this means, the 3 phases of the new temple. The one they know and the one they don't understand. We came up, we thought we were coming up in New York City, but we came up in a completely different country. Now, if I think of the new temple, I think of the Temple Mount in Israel, which is the site of the first and the second Jewish temples, which were both destroyed. But the Temple Mount is the Muslim temple, or the mosque, that was built on top. Now, all of those faiths, they're all Abrahamic faiths. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. They've all got a right to be there because all those faiths interlock. I'm just looking at another message that I wrote down. When a clown moves into a palace, he doesn't become a king, the palace becomes a circus. That's a Turkish proverb. I don't know if that's connected to this reading or not. I'm not sure. Let's get some cards. What is the energy of what's going on here? Now, this could be a message for you. It could be for somebody around you. Somebody returning to what they know, even though it's not good for them. In between worlds. The deep end of the ocean. 3 phases of the new temple. The one they know and the one that they don't yet understand, in between worlds. It's almost a coming up for air. The truth is being revealed. In distress. Now, if I think about, and I was watching something this morning, when a clown moves into a palace, he doesn't become a king. The palace becomes a circus. So if you look at the Israeli Prime Minister who's just sacked the defense minister, and now they're coming at each other, which was an energy I picked up 2 readings ago. It's got that very much, is it Mog and Magog? Imploding within. The warship that was in distress surfaces in Sydney Harbour. Now, energy is energy. It plays out on every level of society. You can see it playing out on a global scale. Things are imploding within a structure that has been resistant to change, I want to say. Pluto in Capricorn is a 20-year transit. But there will be some people who can't, who don't want to change, who can't change. And they're going to be shocked. Like in that dream, we came up and they couldn't believe that we weren't, where we were surfacing wasn't where they thought it was. Hiding their head in the sand. Now, somebody with Stockholm Syndrome is somebody who hasn't dealt with the trauma of their past. And because it's familiar, they stay with it. What angel is walking with us? Number 46. Gratitude and secret knowledge. 46, Ariel. The Knight of Cups, which is Scorpio energy because it's the moon in Scorpio. Scorpio is death and rebirth. The end. A new beginning. And 29, liberation and defender of spiritual truth. The opportunity to be liberated, to get a different perspective in a new place because of a distress in a situation. But there are going to be some of us that go back. The 7 of Wands is what that angel aligns with. Some of us that are going to be defensive to the change. Secret knowledge, spiritual truth, a spiritual journey that we're meant to be on. This revolutionary change, a change in perspective. But people are going to be stuck in the past. Stuck in what they know. Okay, let's get an energy for collectively. What's happening in the collective? 4 of Wands on the bottom. What's happening in the collective? King of Cups. This is the energy around us. The King of Cups is Neptune in Pisces. If you think of a submarine, Pisces is water energy. Neptune is the bottom of the ocean, the deep end of the ocean. I want to say stuck in the past. And I've got that sensation of when you're under the water for too long and you're scrambling to get to the surface, to get a gasp of air, but you're almost being pulled back under. Okay, what's happening individually for us? On a surface level, this is the energy around us. The 4 of Wands, Venus in Aries. The 4 of Wands comes after the 3 of Wands. The 2 of Wands is planning. The plans you make after the end of a karmic cycle to build in a new beginning. The 3 of Wands is taking the action. The whole world appears in front of you. And the Four of Wands is a celebration. So a wanting of this new beginning. Venus in Aries. What's happening under the surface? The King of Wands. The Sun in Aries. The first thing I heard was deception. 3 phases of the new temple, a new beginning. The one that they know and the one that they don't yet understand. King of Wands can often come across as very very ego-driven, not willing to budge, not willing to change. If I think about those 3 Abrahamic faiths, and of course the Dome of the Rock or Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is currently what's standing on that. Well, that's what all the conflict is over, that specific site. Now, all of those faiths, they're all Abrahamic faiths. They all come from the beginning origin. They're just different tangents of it. But they all believe in the same God. They all believe in Adam and Eve and the different prophets that came through. Jesus, well, in some part Jesus, some faiths don't. But it's an unwillingness to change because they're stuck in the past. Stockholm Syndrome. And the irony is that Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world at the moment. The one they know and the one that they don't yet understand. When you surface from underneath the ocean, from where you've lived, and the world is a very different place. This is somebody these are people who are scared of change because it's easier. It's more comfortable to stay where they are than to facilitate change. Okay, let's have a look. What message does Spirit, does the Divine have for us in this situation? The Ace of Cups, it's a new beginning. Cups again is water. Ace of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, a new beginning, a new connection. Cups are emotions, cups are love. But you've got to be emotionally vulnerable to accept it. You've got to be able to go deep to accept it. What's the possible? Page of Wands on the bottom, the Explorer. You've got to be able to explore it. What's the possible outcome in this situation? For somebody who, balance, I want to say for somebody who's just not sure. In between worlds is balance. That's the Temperance card, the Angel. We're being guided. Liberation and defender of spiritual truth. Queen of Swords on the bottom, Uranus in Aquarius, a spiritual awakening as we go into this Pluto in Aquarius transit, which is 20 years long. Uranus is earthquakes, a spiritual transformation, a spiritual earthquake. Okay, let's use this deck. Let's get some more on this King of Cups. These people who almost are hiding under the surface. Knight of Swords. Mars and Aquarius. Mars. Keeping things apart. You look, there's a group of 3 people here and a group of 3 people here. Trying to keep things separate because they don't want to facilitate change. What else? Aquarius is, that's too many. I'm just going to have a look though. The Chariot, the Death card, the 3 of Pentacles, and the Fool. Cards come out because they're meant to come out. It's my 3D self that says, I like it when there's 1 card here and 2 cards on top. But we've got the Chariot, the opportunity for a new beginning. The Death card, the ending of the old, and the opportunity for new. That's Scorpio energy, death and rebirth. Three of Pentacles, an opportunity to build somewhere else, to leave what you know behind. And the Fool card, which is a spiritual earthquake. It's a new beginning. But somebody's got their sword up to it. They want to go back to what they know because it's comfortable. The Four of Wands here. Ten of Cups. It's on offer. That little boy had the opportunity to go back to his biological family. The Ten of Cups. It's on offer. The Ten of Cups is Six of Pentacles. The Ten of Cups is Mars in Pisces. And the Six of Pentacles is the Moon in Taurus. I want to say better the devil you know, because in that card, that character there is the devil. Better the devil you know. King of Wands here, what? Eight of Cups, which is Saturn in Pisces. A spiritual lesson that we're meant to learn. Seven of Wands, but we're defensive to it. Mars and Leo. Lots of fire energy here. Mars and Leo. What else? Ten of Swords, which is the Sun in Gemini. And I say it all the time. For me, the negative aspect of Gemini is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the twins. Good versus evil. There's comfort in staying where you are. There's comfort in being defensive because it's what you know. It's a fear of the unknown. The fear of the deep end of the ocean. Actually, that's a Paul Kelly song. Deeper Water. I'll put that in the description. There might be messages in there. It's about a young boy who starts off. He goes further and further and further out into the ocean. And if I actually think of somebody like Cat Stevens, or Yusuf as he's now known, he went through a massive spiritual awakening. He went for a swim off, I think, the Santa Monica Pier, somewhere in America. He went for a swim and he got dragged out by a current and almost drowned, and went through a massive spiritual awakening and changed religions. He converted, or it's called reverted. He reverted to Islam, which is why he's now known as Yusuf. A massive spiritual awakening that we're going through, because if you think of Cat Stevens, Yusuf, the deep end of the ocean, he got in the water thinking that he was going to stay at the shore. We got on that warship in the dream thinking that when we surfaced we were going to be in America, but we ended up in Australia. Now a rip in Australia will do that. We ended up somewhere where we didn't think we were going to be. Three phases of the new temple: the one they know and the one they don't yet understand. He was meant to go all the way out to the deep to have that spiritual awakening, because he was meant to change tack. Imploding within. The warship that was in distress surfaces in Sydney Harbour. It's the distress, whatever this is, collectively, individually, it's the distress that's the catalyst for your spiritual awakening. And if you don't recognize that it's the catalyst, you stay stuck. Ace of Cups. This is the message from above about this situation. The Emperor. A new beginning. North Node is currently in Aries. Aries is the Emperor. North Node is where we are collectively headed. The South Node is what we are releasing. These relationships. We've got the World card, the Death card. In between worlds. Everything is pointing to whatever this is that's been in your life, or collectively that's been in our lives, that has ended in some sort of heartbreak with the Ten of Swords. That's meant to, the Chariot, carry us on to a new beginning, as long as you're not defensive to it. It's a spiritual awakening, because in January, the North Node, and the North Node sits in a sign for 18 months. The North Node goes into Pisces, so Pisces is spirituality. The South Node then goes into Virgo, which is practicality. It's you're not meant to think, you're just meant to do. You're meant to follow intuitively the nudges that you are getting to catapult you into this next phase of your life. What else? The Knight of Pentacles. That's Saturn in Capricorn. Do we have Saturn in Pisces? I did see that somewhere. Saturn in Pisces is a looking back. I don't think Saturn's retrograde anymore, but it's been retrograde for the past couple of months. Retrograde is a looking back on the spiritual lessons that you have learnt in a situation that you've been in. And what that does, a spiritual awakening, is a recognition of those spiritual lessons. Saturn in Capricorn. Capricorn is Saturn. Saturn upon Saturn. Lessons upon lessons upon lessons upon lessons. And what you learn from those lessons, which then is effectively the key that unlocks you on this new spiritual journey, gives you the wings to fly. Liberation, a defender of spiritual truth. The outcome. The outcome, I think I want two. The outcome, if you choose, because this is balance. It's the angel of balance. In between worlds, what do you choose? Do you stay where you are, or do you move forward? I want to say move forward to your freedom. What happens if you stay where you are? Three of Wands, which is the Sun in Aries. And what happens if you move forward? Ten of Pentacles. I think this is, Three of Wands is are looking out onto the horizon at what could have been. The Ten of Pentacles is almost a wish fulfillment. I want one more on this Three of Wands. Well, we already know. Ten of Swords. One more on this Three of Wands. Can you get it? The Truth. It's a you get the truth, but you do nothing about it. Ten of Pentacles. Eight of Cups, walking away. Knew it was going to come out. That's Saturn in Pisces, which is what I was talking about. Now, this card, that's the Four of Cups is disappointment. In the original drawing of that card in the Rider-Waite Tarot, it's God offering this person a cup, and the person has got their arms folded and they're saying, actually, I don't want it. God's offering it to you. A spiritual awakening is being offered to you. Now, meant to come out with this. So, Four of Cups is disappointment. Walking away to your new Ten of Pentacles after disappointment. But did you see where it landed? It landed on the Ace of Swords and the Three of Wands, which is what happens if you don't make the change that's being offered to you. You'll sit in the truth of the change that I chose not to make. The Four of Wands, which is this new beautiful beginning, a spiritual journey that you're on. But you're stuck in the Three of Wands because you chose, even though you knew the truth, to stick with the disappointment because it was more familiar. Wow. Two of Pentacles, Jupiter in Capricorn. What are you going to choose? In between worlds. The Wheel of Fortune, which is Jupiter. Jupiter in Capricorn. Capricorn is currently, for the next 10 days, where the Pluto in Aquarius, the Pluto in Capricorn transit has been for 20 years. It's got a couple of days left. Fortune's wheel rolls backwards if you stay stuck and don't facilitate the change. But you get the Wheel of Fortune if you choose to move forward. If you choose to walk away, you get the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, the truth is being revealed. Let's get some guidance cards. Anything else your guides want to know? Want you to know. Transformation. Transformation is being afforded to you. Mastery, but you've got to tap into the lessons that are being shown to you. Healing and transformation, higher self, tapping into your higher self, family, friends and children. Potentially it pertains to toxicity, people in and around you that have maybe facilitated this 10 of Swords, this backstabbing, this heartbreak, kept you trapped, kept you stuck under the ocean, the deep end of the ocean, not allowing you to change. Rest, work, life balance, and release control. Perfectly blind. Some things are meant to be hidden. You were meant to be stuck there. Because the biggest test of this whole journey will be what you do once you get the truth. Partnership. The spiritual journey that you go on with yourself. Once you get the truth. Are you going to re-partner with people from your past that are toxic? Or are you going to move forward on this new spiritual journey? Let's have a look. Liberation and defender of spiritual truth. What moon gives us any extra information about this particular situation? Full moon in Virgo. You are more than enough. So Virgo is the Hermit card. Virgo is the card of the spiritual journey. Virgo is also aligned with Chiron, which is the wounded healer. Somebody that has been through past pain and is meant to use that past pain as a catalyst for change. What are you working on? This is my Nodes of Destiny deck. North Node in Scorpio. Under the cosmic influence of the North Node in Scorpio, it's time to Marie Kondo our lives, bid farewell to those outdated patterns, toxic ties and emotional baggage. By decluttering our metaphorical closets, we pave the way for some serious glow up and transformation. Now, Scorpio is the 8th house. The 8th house is the house of secrets, meaning some things are meant to be hidden. You're not meant to know where you're going to surface. You're not meant to know what is ahead on the journey for you. You're just meant to take the leap. The World card, the Fool card. You're meant to take the leap. South Node in Pisces, head lost in a sky full of clouds thanks to the South Node in Pisces, drifting off into the dreamy land of confusion, not knowing what to do. Let's toss in a pinch of practical magic and some down-to-earth vibes. Mix those lofty dreams with a touch of reality. Say farewell to old habits and dive headfirst into a bold new adventure. You're meant to dive into the water. That song is relevant, that Paul Kelly song, Deeper Water. You're meant to be going to somewhere where you can't touch the bottom. Or you've been somewhere where you couldn't touch the bottom. It's a measure of your strength. It's not meant to be something that then holds you captive. Interesting. Angels. This is my love messages song deck. Angels, and though she offers me protection and a lot of love and affection, whether I'm right or wrong, and down the waterfall, wherever it may take me, I know that life won't break me. When I come to call, she won't forsake me. I'm loving angels instead. Putting your faith in the guidance of your spiritual team, but that's a lot of water references there. And down the waterfall, you've been thrown over the waterfall, wherever it may take me, I know that life won't break me. You're in the deep end of the ocean. That's the name of that movie. The deep end of the ocean. Are you going to sink or are you going to swim? I've got this image, and I don't know if it's from a movie, of somebody on a boat out in the ocean. And they're being held captive there. And they've got the opportunity to jump off, and they jump off. And they're swimming, and then they realize that it's safer to swim back to what's been holding them captive. You're not meant to turn back around. Okay, messages from your higher self. I don't want to listen to other people anymore. Potentially people, family, friends, children that are keeping you trapped, making you feel like you can't make a change. Love begins at self-love. I know there is important things we need to discuss. and true love on the bottom. That's a connection with yourself. Okay, I'm going to get, and I should have said it before, and I apologize if you've got hearing sensitivity. Scrabble tiles in here, letters, numbers, I'll call them both out. Could be your first, middle, last initial, the initials of somebody around you that you are dealing with in this situation, where you are trying to make a decision as to moving on. Let's just do those. Okay, we have got a B and a 3, a T and a 1, a K and a 5, a U and a 1, an N and a 1, a Y and a 4, a G and a 2, a D and a 2, an S and a 1, an X and an 8, an M and a 3, an I and a 1, a W and a 4, a Q and a 10, an A and a 1, a V and a 4, and an L and a 1. Now finally, I'm going to get you 3 final cards. Anything else your guides want to tell you about Nine of Pentacles, freedom on the bottom. Anything your guides want to tell you. Any advice, any last messages they want to give you. Strength wanting to come out there. Okay, so we've got the Page of Pentacles, which is a card of the student. The Page of Pentacles is Mercury in Virgo, a spiritual journey that you're meant to go on in order to take you from one world to the next. The Temperance card, guided by angels, but finding balance within yourself. The King of Swords on the bottom, which is Uranus in Libra, finding balance within yourself as part of a spiritual journey that you're on. Removing yourself from past disappointments. Taking the cup that Spirit is offering you to take you, even though you don't know where you're going, to take you from one phase of your life to the next. On the bottom, the King of Swords again, and we've got the Knight of Swords. Truth coming through here. Truth coming through. You've got to dig deeper. The deep end of the ocean. Truth coming through here. Because you're not meant to stay stuck. I want to say in this Stockholm syndrome of better the devil you know. So that's where I'm going to leave this reading. Thank you for joining me. If the reading resonated with you, please give it a like. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you can be notified of future readings. If you are called to any of my tarot or oracle decks, the links to those can be found in the description box. Wish you a lovely rest of the day, and I'll see you again in another reading.